Hi everybody! It's the beginning of January, which means it's time for New Year's resolutions and goals and planning and all that fun stuff. So today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my 2019 goals, specifically as a creator and in terms of building my creative business, what I'm really looking to accomplish in 2019. 2018, I don't really feel like I can do any sort of year in review. I really just started making a big push for my business and my creative side in October. You guys saw me take on the Inktober challenge, and since then I've really been committed to keeping everything up. So that's been 3 months, October, November, December. So yeah, 3 months, so a whole quarter already that I've made it through and feel like I've really been very active in terms of making things, learning new things, and building my social media and my website and my blog, and I started a YouTube channel. So all these things that I was able to start and sort of really get into, and now I want to stick to that commitment, work on making all those things better as I move forward. So to get it started, I thought that I would introduce you to a few of the specific overall goals. So these are not necessarily specific projects, they're bigger things that are going to be happening throughout the whole year. And I'm going to be doing a blog post about this on my website, so if you'd rather just read through the bullet points and things that I have, I will link to it below. So if you want to go there and check it out, definitely head over to my website and you can check out some of the other blogs that are going on there. So my first one that I made note of is my Etsy shop. And some of you that are familiar with me or my friends and family, you may know that I already had one. My Etsy store has actually been active or open since 2016, and it's now 2019. So there's been no activity there. I feel like I opened the store to open it, to sort of reserve it, and then I wasn't very consistent or strategic in terms of anything beyond that. So there's a few listings up in there of like my realistic butterfly display drawings and some like figurative stuff, a little bit of some printmaking that I had done in the past. So you can definitely check it out now for some of the pieces that are one of a kinds. They're pieces that won't be reproduced. My goal is to actually make some sales in my Etsy shop. That would be thumbs up. And my way of going about that is going to be probably to do a quarterly update for my shop because unfortunately, my creative side is not full-time. I think sticking to a quarterly update is going to be more doable for me, and it means that I have enough time to put together some new work and then also time to photograph and make listings and then manage the running of the shop itself. I have some specific goals in mind beyond that in terms of the Etsy shop. But a lot of that, I need to see how this first update goes and really decide the directions that I need to take in terms of social media and advertising and things like that. I'm hoping to do the first update towards the end of January. The next important piece of goal-related items besides Etsy is my website. And I'm pretty happy with the place that I'm at now with my website. It's gone through several different iterations, and right now I'm with Squarespace. This video is not sponsored. I'm pretty happy with the platform. I'm familiar with other platforms. I've used Wix before. I manage a WordPress site currently, and I love WordPress. However, it can be a lot of work, especially for someone like me who would tend to get into the nitty-gritty and coding and things like that I have experience with. So for me, Squarespace means that it's simple and I don't need to spend too much time with the website to make it great and to make it look nice too. So in terms of updating, I know that I need to figure out how to flesh out the artwork area of the website and make sure that that is accurately representing the things that I want to be out there in terms of making the website sort of the pinnacle of my channels, where social media and YouTube and things like that I can show more casually my artwork, but then more professionally is really where I want my website to be. So in terms of that, I think I'm gonna have to change some of my sections and maybe remove some pieces, add some new pieces. It's gonna be a lot of work. I do need to do some different types of photography and things for my artwork that I want to give a try. So that's something that probably is gonna be a project that will take this whole year. So that's why I'm calling it more of a goal, because I know that It's something that's going to be a lot of time and a lot of research to even get where I want to go with it. Outside of these two websites, the Etsy and then my main website, I want to specifically focus on growing my Instagram and growing my YouTube in terms of social media. I do have a Twitter, I do have a Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn professionally as well. With Instagram, I've been doing pretty well over 2019 at some point, whether it takes me the whole year or not. I think in terms of followers, I'd like to be 1,000 plus, which sounds so small in terms of professional marketing, but my goal is to really have a community that knows me and appreciates my things versus building something so quickly that isn't really an engaged community or a community that has any value to me or that I have any value to them in return. So that's what I'm looking at. In terms of YouTube, I don't really have any numbers in mind. I think that like number of subscribers and stuff is not important at the beginning. For me, I want to see more watch time and I want to be actively getting better at making more videos, but also better videos. And I think that I'm getting there. You guys know that I've acquired some different equipment over Christmas and things like that. So I'm hoping over 2019 that creating better videos to grow my YouTube via quality is going to be something that I can achieve, hopefully. In terms of the number of videos you'll see from me in 2019, I'm hoping for a minimum of 2 per month, and my ideal number is 3 to 5. So a video every week, ideally. I think that's been going pretty well. I think I've hit, almost every week there's been a video. I would like to get a little bit faster in terms of my editing, and I think that that's just a matter of practice makes perfect. And, you know, I'm pretty much a beginner when it comes to Premiere. The only understanding I have is being familiar with Photoshop and Illustrator. Specifically, I think with both those channels, a focus on video is important. Obviously, YouTube is all about video, but for me, getting better at making short videos and making them easily digestible and consistent and concise in terms of the messaging and what I'm presenting to you visually. So I'm not sure about Instagram TV yet, but I do want to be able to promote more video within my feed itself and then really focusing on creating cool story content. So that's it for my overarching goals for the year. So basically Etsy, website, and my main social media channels, maintaining that focus year round. In terms of my specific projects, the first one is specifically related to Etsy, and that's going to be for sure having a holiday shop update in fall 2019. So that gives me time to really think about what I want to do. I know you guys saw me making some Christmas cards after Christmas this year. Specifically, I know that I do want to make other holiday cards. I know that I have these that I may use personally, but I'd really like to make some Christmas cards for my personal use, and so I think that that will enable me to make some for sale as well if people are interested in them. Other than that, the other things that I'm going to be trying are some homemade ornaments. They're going to be hand-painted ornaments, not necessarily homemade. Those are the two areas specifically, and I think I might want to do some like holiday illustrations specifically depending on where I am in the summer, because ultimately I'll be making, I think, the holiday pieces over the summer, sort of a Christmas in July type of thing. So in terms of the timeline. So I guess I'm curious in terms of what you're looking for from an artist during the holiday, when you're looking for gifts or you're looking for greeting cards or thank you cards, or you want to see it, or what you haven't seen or what you do see and you'd want to have my version of something. So let me know what you think about that. Also some other fall projects. I definitely want to do Inktober again for 2019. And this year, or in 2018, you saw me do the 31 Days of Moons, and that was ink and watercolor. So this year, I think that I want to give myself a little bit more restriction. I'm still not sure if I'm going to follow the prompts. I think that it's something that I need to think about more if I can really stick to that. But I know for sure that I want to have more cohesive work in terms of all my 31 Inktober pieces. And I think that means limiting my color palette, first of all. So I think that I will end up working with either like 1 or 2 types of ink. So like this year, or I'm still not ready for 2019, clearly. I was really a fan of Sha'an's sepia tone Inktovers, and I mean, if you're watching me, you're probably a person who already watches her. She goes by furrylittlepeach online. So check her out and look for her Inktober videos from 2018. There's a couple of them, and I don't think sepia is for me. It's like outside of my wheelhouse in terms of coloring, and so I don't know if I'd be able to stick to it as a daily challenge for 31 days. But in terms of that idea, I think that I would like to do something like that, and it may be a good transition for me to do something in black and then one other color versus going all black. And you guys saw in my December vlog that I bought a zine from feefal. So I'm not sure. It really depends on how Inktober goes if I can make a zine, but I think that I'd really like to try making one, even if it's something like a really limited run, like for myself, or something that I could put into Christmas gifts for myself in 2019. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of Inktober, really just building on what I was able to accomplish in 2018. Again, for fall, I saw in November that there was a folktale week, and I didn't feel prepared enough to participate this year, but I was really in love with a lot of the things that I saw, and I think that it would be a great challenge for me at that time of year. So, you know, that's 11 months from now, and some of my other projects or goals in general is to focus on illustration and really investigate some different styles and techniques in terms of illustration. And so I think that towards the end of the year, that might be a good cap on my year of learning illustration, or developing some sort of style for myself in terms of that. So I'm hoping to take part as well, although it is only a week challenge, but it's still going to be a lot of planning and development, because I feel like the pieces that are expected for Folktale Week are more involved than maybe an Inktober type of drawing would be. Along with illustration type of projects, I like to learn how to make patterns. That's something that I like to do. I'd like to create some of my own like custom printed materials, like journals and notebooks and things. Again, things that maybe I would sell, but maybe that I could just use for gifts or use for my own personal use as well. Specifically with that, I think that a good way for me to participate in building illustrated patterns with like a goal in mind, there are these challenges put on by a company called Spoonflower, who does, they like sell some prints and they do some like printed materials, but they have these pattern making challenges, and it seems like it's at least monthly, if not more than once a month. And so that might be a good way to have a goal in mind when looking at illustrated patterns. So being able to work towards something specific versus just saying, I want to learn how to make patterns in general. So I'll put a link to their website below where I saw the different challenges, so you guys can take a look at that and maybe we can do some together. The other thing specifically that I know I need to do or think about is like a channel introduction or an artist introduction video. And now that I'm thinking about it, even for Etsy, you can do like a shop introduction video. I don't feel like ready in terms of my video creation to really put on something professional that is showcasing my artwork and myself in the way that I want to. So I think further down in the year, when I have a little bit more experience with filming and with editing and things like that, that I want to create some video content that is really introductory for me as an artist, that could be used for YouTube, could be used on my website, could be used on my Etsy store. We'll see how that goes. Some other things that I haven't really decided about for 2019 that are a little bit more specific. I saw a lot of people doing Vlogmas this year, or how many times have I said this year in this video? In 2018, so I watched a lot of Vlogmas videos, which is basically for YouTube channels. It's putting out a vlog every single day in December until Christmas. So like 24, 25 videos, one every single day. And I was just really impressed by the stuff that I saw and thinking about, could I really do that? It just got me thinking about it a lot. And I think that it would be a really interesting challenge, but I think that it would be really dependent on my circumstances in December of next year. I think that I would definitely need to be able to take some extra time off during the month, do some like half days and things like that if I'm working full time to make that happen. So it's sort of like a dream project if I can get there, dependent on my circumstances. I'd like to design stickers. I'd like to work on traditional illustration for character design, like something that might be intended for like a children's book or illustrated novel or for magazines and things like that. I know that I want to apply to some artist residencies, and I want to apply to more juried shows. I'm hoping to take a class this year too, whether I'm thinking ceramics or shibori, to do something like completely outside of what my normal practice is. And then I'm turning 30 in 2019, so I know that I want to do something special for my 30th. It's going to be my partner's birthday as well, his 30th, in the end of September. So we turn 30 at around the same time, so I'm hoping that we can do something together for that. And then the bigger thing that I'm thinking about for the end of the year in 2019 is if I'll be in a place to launch something like a Kickstarter or a Patreon account. And essentially that would not necessarily mean that it's happening then, but that I would be able to start implementing a planning process or a timeline in terms of what I want to do for 2020. Gosh, it really seems like a lot of things to do when I talk about it or when I write it down for my blog. So for me, these 2019, the goals and the projects that I'm looking at, it really involves, like personally, it's more of a lifestyle change for myself. And I've seen a little bit of that already in 2018 for the quarter that I've made this change. It's been just sort of a mindset thing where I really have to think about the future and where I see myself in the future and what do I really want to be spending my time on, physically, but in my head as well, like mentally and emotionally. What do you really want to focus on? Are you focusing on the day-to-day of your full-time job, or are you focusing on making your home or raising family or hanging out with friends? Like, all those things are different levels of importance to different people, and that's fine. And for me, I want my artwork, my creative self, my creative business to be the focus. I want to find more freedom to be able to do that in my life. And the first step in that is making sure that I'm not procrastinating, just being lazy as much, or just trying to sort of zone out of life as much as maybe it's my habit to do. And so specific types of things is not coming home and sitting on the couch watching TV. So if I am sitting and watching TV, I try to be working on something at that time. So I might be filming a time-lapse video, like a speed paint sort of thing, or I might be sketching on the couch. I might be sitting on the floor doing a painting in our bigger living room space. So for me, it's not letting so much time be wasted from just the day-to-day. And I'm finding that there's a lot more time than I think, during the work days. Even though I work full-time, I definitely feel better personally when I'm able to accomplish something that is for me when I come home from work. So even if I feel really tired at the end of the day, or I feel that I didn't necessarily I wasn't able to put all my time into my creative business or working on my artwork as I would like to do sometime a long time in the future. Even having that little bit of time that I was able to dedicate to making art is really important. And so I want to continue to really stay committed to that. And I think that having the accountability of social media and then the YouTube channel is going to help me maintain that. And so I really appreciate you guys listening to my goals and my projects, and those of you who have already subscribed to this channel and been watching my videos and giving me some feedback on my videos. I really, 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 really appreciate that. And it's so kind of you to spend some of your time with me and to see what's going on with my artwork. I really just hope that we all have a great 2019 and we're inspired in our artwork and our creative goals. So I really appreciate you sticking with me to hear about my goals and my projects for 2019. And please let me know below if there's something you think that I should try out or work on this year in 2019. I'd love to hear about what you're doing this year, if you're trying something new, if you have started a new YouTube channel, or you want to make a better Instagram channel, or you want to learn how to paint watercolors or paint acrylics, whatever it is. I want to hear what you're working on. Let's just work on supporting each other. Thanks so much, and have a great year.